What's up, folks? Today I'm going to be reviewing the game Challenge Yahtzee. This game came out in 1974 from the Lowe's Corporation, and it is for 2 to 4 players. Now, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the game of Yahtzee. It's kind of like a poker-style dice game. In this version of the game, you're going to be basically playing off of the roll of somebody else or your own, and everybody's going to be trying to score at the same time. So let's show you how this game works. Okay, folks, let's go ahead and show you the components. First thing you have here is this really nice little dice tray. There are 5 little spaces on each side where you can place these little dice, and then you have 5 big spaces where you can place the large dice. And of course, you've got your nice little Challenge Yahtzee cup. So a lot of dice in this game. Now you also have what is the typical score pad, and this is reminiscent of regular Yahtzee. And what you're going to be doing if you've never played this game before is these dice are going to be rolled, and what you're going to try to do is collect certain combinations here and then fill them in. On the top part, you're basically going to be collecting a certain amount of a certain number. So if you were to get 3 2s, for example, you would score 6 points. If you were to get 4 4s, you would score 16 points, and then you would place it here on in this column. If the total score of all these ends up reaching 63 or higher, you're going to score a bonus 35 points. Now in the lower section, we have poker-like hands, and again, you're going to be trying to fill these in depending on what is rolled. So if a 3 of a kind is rolled and you're able to get that, you'll add a total of all the dice and place that there. Same with a 4 of a kind. The full house is basically a 3 of a kind and a 2 of a kind of different numbers. A small straight is a sequence of 4 numbers in a row, like 1, 2, 3, 4. A large straight would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A Yahtzee would be 5 of a kind. And then chance is basically something that you probably would use if you weren't able to get a combination. Like if you had like a 6, a 5, a 3, and another 6, or just junk, you could just add the total of all that up. And you usually would do that if you were trying to, like, say, get a small straight and you weren't able to get it. And then, of course, you got the Yahtzee bonus. Now, in regular Yahtzee, you're going to be allowed 3 rolls to try to get a combination. Like, for example, let's do a roll, and here I got 2 5s. You would just simply set that to the side. Let's just say I was trying to collect 5s. Well, I got 3 6s over there, so that's good. So that would be a full house. And so then I'm going to go ahead and fill in the full house if I wanted to, or if I wanted to try to get maybe more 6s, I could do that too. Now, with this particular game, what's going to happen is somebody's going to roll the dice, and then everybody is going to be building up their individual hand with the smaller dice. So this is kind of like how it'll work. Let's just say I'm the one rolling, and I'm only going to use the 2 top ones over here. So let's just say I roll the dice over here, and I've rolled this. So I've got a 6, 5, 4, and a 3. Now, what each person can do is they can try to select the dice that they want to do in order to build up a particular hand. So, for example, let's just say that I was in need of a small straight or something like that. There's a small straight over here on the board already. So what I would do is I would just go ahead and put the 6 here, the 5 here, the 4 here, and the 3 here, and then I would take this off. And let's just say player 2 decided he wanted to try to go for 6s. So he would go ahead and do something like this. He would take 2 6s, and then he would take the rest of these dice off like so. And then we'll go to the second roll. Now, the way it works is, in a situation like this, you're going to roll the amount of dice that matches the person who needs the least amount. So in this case, since this guy only needs 1 die and this guy needs 3, I'll only roll 1 die. And so this will be the second turn. So let's just say I've rolled and I've gotten a 3. So he still has a small straight but not a large straight. And it does not help this guy at all. So let's just say they decide to keep their hands, and there's another roll. And there is a 2. So this guy ended up getting his large straight. But unfortunately, this guy only has his 2 6s. So what will happen is the player on the bottom will go ahead and fill in the number for the large straight, which is 40 points. And this player would go ahead and fill in the 2 6s. So he would only score 12 points. And then it would go on to the next player. And that's basically how the game goes. The game's just going to continue doing like this, and then everybody's going to go ahead and up their scores here, and total it here, add up this part, total it here, and then you'll do the grand total. Now with Yahtzees, Typically, Yahtzee will score about 50 points, but if you end up scoring an additional Yahtzee, you'll do a check mark over here, and if you get, for each other Yahtzee you'll get 100 points, and then you'll just simply score it over there. But anyway, whoever has the highest amount of points at the end of the game is going to win. And that, folks, is Challenge Yahtzee. So my final thoughts on Challenge Yahtzee. Well, if you like the game Yahtzee, then most likely you're going to like the game Challenge Yahtzee. One of the things I like about this game is that it goes a lot faster than regular Yahtzee. If you happen to have triple Yahtzee, that game can take a very long time because you not only have one column that you have to fill in, but you have three, and each of the columns just basically is a multiplier. Yahtzee's an okay game with me. This is a game that we might pull out as a filler. It's easy to learn, and typically the game goes pretty quick if you're playing with 2 players. But this one will go the same amount of time if you're playing with 2 or 4 players. So that is an advantage if you're just looking to play a short little game. It can get rather interesting when you see some players that are trying to build a small straight because they need one, but you may not need a small straight. So you might be trying to build up on another number or something like that. Now, I'm not quite sure what the deal is with Tony Randall and the odd couple thing over here. They're not even mentioned in the instructions at all. I'm assuming that they just happen to be a sponsor or something like that. But anyway, nice little piece of nostalgia there, I suppose. But yeah, if you're looking to maybe get a Yahtzee game that's fast, this would definitely be the one to get. You can probably get this for about $15 on eBay or so. It's not that expensive, and it's not a bad game. But again, if you're not a Yahtzee fan, I would just pass on it. But if you are a Yahtzee fan, check it out. So guys, that's my review of Challenge Yahtzee. We'll see you later. Keep on gaming.